Your happiness depends on how much money you make every month. LMAO, I feel bad for you. I like your channel, but I don't think personal happiness is solely based on how much you make. What a hack. I am picking a side. A lot of people are saying money can't buy you happiness, but I 100% disagree with that statement. What's up guys? My name is Bruce Wang. I'm a dividend investor, real estate investor turned YouTuber. So I made a video about 2 weeks ago. The thumbnail is multiple streams of income. In this video, I go over how I'm trying to create a lot of assets for me that will, pay for my lifestyle later on in the future. So when I plan on retiring, or when some days I just don't want to work, I wouldn't even have to go into work, and these assets will be able to cover for my living expenses. And in passing, I said something along the lines of, your happiness is dependent on how much money you make every single month. And in that video, I go over how I used to travel a lot. I lived overseas for over 5 years. I lived in Southeast Asia. In particular, I was in Cambodia, Thailand, many trips to Singapore, Hong Kong, just all that. And I had the time of my life during then, making money, having fun. So I strongly agree that money can buy you happiness. And in this video, I wanna go over exactly why I think that money can buy you happiness. So I actually got the idea for this video from another video called Bloomberg, Yes, You Can Buy Happiness. And in that video, they go over a lot of great points that I kind of want to reiterate to you, and just give you some of their evidence and what I strongly agree on, and some stuff that I might disagree with as well. All right, so according to the study from this graph, from this video, basically they were saying that $75,000 is the minimum you need to have a certain amount of happiness, and anything above that is just like gravy on top. So more money does not actually equal more happiness. So that was the point that this graph was trying to prove, and I completely agree with that. $75,000 is a lot of money, especially in America, if you're not living in a really high cost of living area like New York or California. But that is a lot of money if you're living in the middle of America or just outside of the city in general. You can definitely live off $75,000 per year. And obviously you can do a lot more with a lot more money, but $75,000 is the minimum requirement according to this study. So this is the next point that I want to make.
And this shouldn't come as a surprise, but spend money on building social relationships.
So there is built into our close relationships this element of reciprocity, of giving back and forth. What we're trying to do in our research is say, you can do more of it, actually. So it's probably not useful to give someone $5 and say, will you be a closer friend of mine? Because that's not how it works. But it does work to say, hey, I really like you and I'd like to take you out to lunch.
So if you buy a coffee, maybe you might want to kind of spend it on buying a coffee for yourself and your friend. Because we know that if you spend it on someone else, you also gain greater happiness.
I like going out to eat with my friends and then, sneaking to the back towards the end of the dinner or whatnot and pay for the bill. I don't do it as much as before, but I do it every now and then. And that always gave me a really good feeling. I don't think of myself as a very charitable guy, but just enjoying time with my friends and being able to pay for these dinners that we go out. Sometimes the restaurant is expensive, sometimes it's not that expensive, but being able to do that for me, it brings joy to me, and I think that in that situation, money can buy you happiness. Let's see some other points from the video.
The next big point is to spend more money on experiences and less on things.
Tom Gilovich and his colleagues at Cornell for about a decade now have been doing research showing that on average, buying stuff for yourself doesn't do much for your happiness, but buying experiences seems to make us happier.
What we see when it comes to actually buying material goods versus experiences is that when we buy our second watch, for example, we might get this spike in happiness, but at some point, this effect of happiness goes away. And to some extent, we might even regret at some point investing that much money. Whereas if we have experiences, we kind of go to a concert, there's this effect of, and we look forward to going to the concert for 2 weeks, even like building up to the experience. And then after the experience, we can always go back to it. So we have a memory of the experience. We might even share it with friends, come back to it every once in a while when we get together for a fun night.
I'm so happy that they actually made a graph of this because it's a lot easier to explain with the graph. I don't go to that many concerts, but I do like to travel, like I was saying earlier, and planning these travel trips with my family, planning them. I've done some travel trips with my friends as well. Being able to experience all these different countries, all these different places. I might drop some photos for you guys. I think this is a really millennial type of example, but yes, buying experience will also bring you happiness. I've done this many times, and I think these graphs are on point. I don't travel as much as I do now because I have a kid, but back in the day, like I said earlier, you know, I've traveled with my friends, with my families, and we've went to so many of these amazing places. And to be able to look back on it, you know, that also brings back a lot of memories. And just from remembering it, I can re-enjoy the time. And you're not gonna be able to buy experiences, especially if you don't have enough money to pay for them.
If you've been thinking, I do want that Apple Watch and I know it would make me happy, then good, buy it. You should know what makes you happy.
If people manage to spend their money in a way that is aligned with their own psychological needs and preferences, as reflected by their personality, that seems to be making people happier. If I'm an extrovert, I might be better off spending my money on going out with friends, kind of having a very social time, spending it on exciting stuff, versus like a friend of mine who's probably more introverted. What they could do instead is spend it on things that improve their quality me time, so to say.
The first thing that we recommend that people do is literally do an audit of your spending. And what's important to you is completely up to you. So I can't say these are the things that should be important to you in life, but you know the things that are important to you in life. And typically when you look at your spend, you should really shift some money from that big category over to this big category.
So that was another great point, and it's also a good segue into the next topic that I want to go into. Buying things that make you happy. Everybody's gonna be different. Everybody's personal finance is personal. So in my case, I can kind of shed some light on that. In my case, I do not want to work on stuff that I don't want to work. Like my past job, I used to work at a hotel. And I hated working at a hotel. I hated waking up every day and going to work and putting in my hours and then spending the rest of the day with such little time doing some of the stuff that I liked. So, you know, after that job, I decided that I don't want to work for another company ever again. And that's where everything started rolling for me. That's where I started to read more books about finances and try to get everything in order. So that leads me to the community that I want to talk about that I've joined, that they have a good message, and I think that a lot of my viewers that are not financial experts can agree with. So this is the subreddit that I was talking about. I know in some of my past videos I recommended like personal finance, FIRE. This subreddit is kind of more extreme when it comes to retiring early. So this subreddit is called LeanFire. I've joined this kind of recently, just a few months ago. I don't do any posting on here or anything like that, but this is the general idea of this. This is the general idea of this subreddit. If you want to retire before 60 with less than $40,000 in planned yearly household expenses, $20,000 individual, this is the place to discuss it. So like I said, this is a bit extreme. Not many people can have their expenses around $20,000 yearly. For my case, I'm actually able to live off about $20,000 every single year. For my expenses with me, my wife, and my one and only kid, it's around $40,000, sometimes $50,000 a year. So just click on getting started, and this is the frequently asked question. So this is why I do it. So like that video said, knowing what makes you happy, this is what makes me happy. You know, I'll be able to spend more time helping communities. This is kind of like what I'm trying to do with this YouTube channel, try to bring out as much value as I can from some of the things that I've learned through my investments. The second reason is spend more time with family. This is a big one for me. I just had a kid She's about 1.5 years old now, and I love spending time with her, and I try to spend as much time with her as I possibly can. So spend more time traveling. This is what I've been trying to do. I haven't traveled since she was born, since my kid was born. So this is what I've been doing with my investments. I've been heavily investing as much as I can every single month, and cutting my expenses as much as I can every single month. And that's why I was able to get my expenses down to $40,000 a year. And the one big expense that helped the most is being able to not pay for a mortgage on my house. So that is a big one. Some simply want to be able to choose what they do with that extra 8+ hours every single day. I don't really have to explain that one. I love learning new skills, especially when it comes to investing, especially when it comes to making better videos and trying to improve myself on a daily basis. With that extra 8 hours that I get back every single day, I'm able to work on my health and fitness, going to the gym every single day, every single morning. And I'm able to develop some of my skills when it comes to getting better at my real estate game, which is my main money maker. Doing that every day for the past few years really helped improve my net worth and improve my earning potential. I don't really want to get that much deeper into this community because I don't think that there is a lot of people out there hardcore enough to even try to jump into LeanFire. My current standard of living is pretty moderate, a little bit higher than moderate, I believe, just because there's a lot of stuff that I don't really want to cut back on. Some stuff that I did cut back on is like Netflix. I don't have a Netflix subscription anymore, and that helped me buy back a lot of time and another like $15 every single month that I can invest into the stock market. So these are some of the things that make me happy, and if I had more money in the bank, I'm able to do all this even more than I am today. I'm able to give back more, spend more time with my family, spend more time traveling, and just continually improving myself, and that takes money to do. So for anybody saying that you cannot buy happiness, I completely 100% disagree with you. There are some people out there that might have mental health issues where they're depressed. So that is probably the only scenario that I'm seeing that it might not help because depression is mental health is a real thing. And I've never experienced that type of depression, but I have my down days and whatnot. And if that is you, then that's on a whole nother level that I have no experience with, and I can't really say other than try to get some help for yourself. So which side are you guys on? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to watch more videos of mine, go check out these videos about my investing in real estate and in the stock market. And you can leave me a like and subscribe if you like this type of content. I come out with 3 videos every single week. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Love you 3000. Bye-bye.